Bikini Bottom is full of families that make sense. SpongeBob's got sponge parents, Patrick's got starfish parents, even Squidward's got a squid mom. But then there's Pearl, a massive sperm whale supposedly the daughter of Mr. Krabs, a tiny, greedy crustacean. Something's off. That's not just some quirky cartoon gag, that's a red flag, my friend.
Dad?
Oh, hi, Pumpkin. I was just setting out refreshments for you and your friends.
Crackers and tap water? You are the cheapest crab alive!
See, if you dig a little deeper, you'll start seeing the cracks, and what's hiding underneath ain't pretty. We all know Krabby Patties are something special. People in Bikini Bottom go feral for them. Even Plankton, the guy who built an entire evil empire, dedicates his whole life to stealing the recipe. Why? Because that meat is something else.
Here, try a sample from the daytime menu.
Ever wondered where Mr. Krabs is getting it? It's not crab. He's the only crab in town. It's not beef. Where would that even come from underwater? But he's got an endless supply and it's always fresh. Now let's step back. Mr. Krabs is a known cheapskate. He wouldn't waste a single cent unless it made him money. What if the Krabby Patty's secret ingredient is something so disturbing, so unthinkable, that no one questions it because the idea itself is just too horrifying? Whale. Yes, whale meat. And if you need proof, just take a look at Season 3, Episode 1, where Squidward finds that vault, a massive stockpile of pre-made Krabby Patties stretching for miles. How does Mr. Krabs have that much stored up? How does he always have enough no matter how many he sells? Simple. He started his empire with one massive, once-in-a-lifetime supply of meat. Pearl's mother. Mr. Krabs dotes on Pearl, buys her whatever she wants, lets her wreck his restaurant, gives her money he'd never even consider giving to anyone else. But why? This is the same guy who hoards pennies like they're diamonds. What makes Pearl so special? He's fattening her up. Think about it. Whales grow a lot. The bigger she gets, the more meat she has. And when the time comes, when that old supply of whale meat runs dry, where's Mr. Krabs going to turn? His own daughter. The perfect insurance policy. He keeps her happy, keeps her comfortable, but one day, she's going to wake up and realize that the man who raised her wasn't her dad. He was just waiting for the right moment to cash in. Mr. Krabs has a catchphrase, "Mother of Pearl." Sounds innocent enough, right? But when you really listen, it's more like a nervous tick. Something he says when he's scared, stressed, or overwhelmed. Almost like a subconscious slip. Like a confession hiding in plain sight. And it doesn't stop there. Have you ever noticed the pictures on his walls? They're covered in images of whales. Not happy, smiling family portraits. No, these are depictions of whales being hunted, whales in danger, whales fighting for their lives. A reminder. A trophy. Or maybe a sick kind of atonement for what he did. Hanging right by his door, plain as day. A whistle used for calling whales. The kind fishermen and whalers use. Why would he have that? Because that's how he lured Pearl's mother in. Caught her in like a fisherman lures in his catch, and when she got close enough, he took her down. That's why he panicked when SpongeBob and Patrick started mimicking whale noises in sailor mouth.
Why you gotta make the two of you paint the Krusty Krab for using such language?
But Mr. Krabs, we were only using our sentence enhancers.
That's why the Krusty Krab training video talks about his deep depression after the war. That's why he goes into a frenzy when someone threatens his first dollar. It's not just about money, it's about something deeper. Something that can't be undone. Mr. Krabs is not Pearl's biological father. That's not even up for debate. Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, even said himself that he wanted each main character to be a different species. That's cool and all, but it doesn't make any biological sense. We're talking about a crustacean raising a massive sea mammal like it's no big deal. Sure, cartoons don't have to be realistic, but this one stretches things to the breaking point. If Mr. Krabs isn't Pearl's real dad, then who is? We've seen a handful of whales in the show, but none of them resemble Pearl except for one. Enter whale cellmate. Yeah, you heard me right. a whale locked up in Bikini Bottom's prison system. If you take one look at him, it's almost impossible to deny the resemblance. He's a sperm whale just like Pearl, and conveniently, the second sperm whale to ever appear in the show. What are the odds? The real kicker? Pearl's bedroom. Right above her bed, there's a painting of a sperm whale surfing. And guess what? That whale looks suspiciously like Whale's cellmate. Coincidence? I think not. Why would Pearl have a random whale's portrait in her room? Either she's got some deep, unexplainable appreciation for obscure sea creatures, or she knows something about her own origins. And if you're still skeptical, let's think about why this whale was in jail to begin with. Here's a theory. Mr. Krabs didn't just adopt Pearl, he took her. Maybe Pearl's real dad tried to get his daughter back, and good old Krabs, being the shady businessman he is, made sure that didn't happen. How? By getting the guy locked up. If you think about it, it makes sense. Whale's cellmate was helping Plankton escape prison, and who's the main enemy of Mr. Krabs? Plankton. If Whale's cellmate was desperate enough, maybe he thought Plankton could help him take down the guy who stole his daughter. And now he's stuck behind bars, while Pearl lives under the impression that her dad is just an overprotective cheapskate. Dark, right? Well, hold on. It gets worse. Pearl is spoiled beyond belief, demanding lavish gifts, fancy clothes, and extravagant parties. And despite being the stingiest crab in the ocean, Mr. Krabs actually gives in most of the time. Why? Because he's a good dad? Doubtful. More likely, he feels guilty about something. Possibly the fact that Pearl isn't really his daughter. Then there's the way Pearl calls him daddy. It's not just a typical father-daughter dynamic. It's always when she wants something. Put that together with the fact that Krabs is constantly handing her money, and things start to feel off. Which leads to the unsettling theory, what if Krabs isn't just Pearl's adoptive father, but her sugar daddy? A sugar daddy is an older man who financially supports a younger woman in exchange for her company. And Pearl? She's financially dependent on Krabs, always calling him daddy when she wants cash. It's not just speculation, the evidence is there. Still skeptical? Let's look at the episode where Mr. Krabs imagines his own funeral. Pearl isn't sad, she's excited to inherit his money. She's only interested in his cash flow, reinforcing the idea that she's more of a gold digger than a loving daughter. And then there's the disturbing detail from an official SpongeBob comic, an image where Mrs. Puff is shaped like Pearl. Since Krabs is openly in love with Mrs. Puff, this weird fusion suggests he might have complicated feelings about Pearl too. And there you have it, folks. The twisted truth lurking beneath Bikini Bottom's cheerful surface. So next time you bite into a Krabby Patty, just remember, some secrets are better left uneaten. Stay curious.